The ANC has postponed its Ekurhuleni and Johannesburg regional conferences, which was set to take place this weekend. Now, this comes after the Gauteng caucus leader and former Joburg mayor Mpho Moerane was involved in a car accident on Monday. Now, this could affect the Gauteng elective conference due to the significance of these regions. Let's get more insight with eNCA senior reporter Siphamandla Goge. Very good morning to you, Sipha. Maybe give us a sense of the implications this could have on the elective conference in the province, because, as I've mentioned in my intro, these are key regions that we are talking about here.
Provincial elective conference, you need to have convened a number of regional conferences leading up to that provincial conference. Gauteng provincial elective conference of the ANC is set to get underway somewhere in the beginning of June or in the middle of June, according to the projections that were made by the provincial leadership of the ANC in Gauteng. However, with regional conferences being postponed, that is likely to affect the upcoming provincial elective conference. But remember, the provincial elective conference is the conference of the branches, really. At some point, even if regional conferences are not convened, those branches that would have convened their branch general meetings will qualify to go to the provincial conferences, or rather to the provincial conference. However, it's always advisable and it's always good if they go to the provincial conference having concluded all the outstanding regional conferences. Today would have been a busy day in Gauteng, as the ANC in Ekurhuleni region and in the Greater Johannesburg region would have convened their regional conferences. Simply put, the gist of this postponement has got to do with pending disputes or outstanding disputes that have not been finalized. There are some who are alleging that branch general meetings processes were manipulated, and there are disputes that have not been resolved. Hence, these conferences have been postponed. But right now we are joined by Mr. Mangani here, who speaks on behalf of the Greater Johannesburg region of the ANC. Thank you very much for your time. Why has your regional conference been postponed?
No, thanks very much, and greetings to your viewers. The regional, conference of the ANC in the Greater Johannesburg has been postponed after when the regional leadership received two key reports that lead to the conference. The first report is the Conference Preparatory Committee report that deals with logistics towards the conference, and that report have provided the green light to say that we are ready for the conference because we have met the threshold, which is 70% minimum of branches. In fact, we are now on more than 80%. And second to that was the Regional Dispute Resolution Committee report. The Regional Dispute Resolution Committee report reported that we received disputes from 44 branches, and those disputes, there are some of those disputes that are legitimate disputes, which led to the Dispute Resolution Committee taking a decision that those branches must rerun. It's mainly less than 8 branches that are supposed to rerun. But because of some of those disputes have been dismissed on the basis that one, they had nothing to do with the processes that has to do with legitimizing those meetings, and some is because of the issues that are raised are not necessarily delegitimizing the meeting, but they require that there must be disciplinary action that is taken against those members who had some disruptive tendencies in those meetings. So those kind of the disputes, you might find that some of the aggrieved parties might want to appeal them. So we want to give them also that opportunity to can appeal to the provincial disciplinary, to the Provincial Dispute Resolution Committee, so that they can be able to be given that opportunity.
Are you certain that by the end of May you will reconvene, or you will convene your regional conference?
Yes, we are certain 2 weeks is good enough to can conclude all the disputes. So far we have concluded our part as the region. And then we'll give the province 1 week. Let's say, for an example, they are also dissatisfied with the provincial decision. They will still have another week to appeal with the National Dispute Resolution Committee. So by the 27th of May, we believe that we will have dealt with all the disputes that have arisen from those 44 branches.
Because if your regional conferences do not sit, that will affect the upcoming provincial elective conference.
Yeah, look, remember, those are two different conferences. You have a regional conference which its processes might have been integrated with the provincial conference processes. But delegates that goes to the provincial conference are not necessarily the same delegates that goes to the regional conference. So in some branches, yes, it might be the same people, but the mandate given to the branch, it's a mandate for a regional conference and a mandate for the provincial conference. What does that mean? It means it does not matter which one comes first. So it can be the provincial conference first, although ideally we will want the regional conference to sit before the provincial conference.
Especially because in the region you need to discuss how to reclaim the lost ground, arrest declining electoral support. You have lost the economic hub to the DA. Surely, apart from electing leadership, you need to discuss socio-economic challenges that have led to you losing this metro.
Definitely so. I mean, with the elections results that we have received for November 2021, it's very clear that firstly, that the people of Johannesburg, they are not happy with the African National Congress, and we need to be able, out of that conference, come with resolutions that will ensure that we reposition the ANC in Johannesburg to be the ANC that is going to be inspiring to the people of Johannesburg, the ANC that is led by leaders with integrity, with high moral standard in society, the ANC that is going to be a renewed organization where its structures are going to be at the center of communities and to serve the people, at the center of service delivery, irrespective of who is in charge currently. Because if we can be able to inspire confidence in our people, you will have seen the voter turnout was low. And our interpretation is that it's because people boycotted to go to vote on the basis that their preferred organization, in their view, might have not been ready for them to vote for it. And as a result,
it's because it has let them down in the past. You have had an uninterrupted run of governing the city of Johannesburg. You have let down the people of Johannesburg. That's why you were punished, and also political arrogance from your leaders and members.
Yeah, look, we took over the city of Johannesburg 2019 December. Basically, we took it, you can say, 2020. And immediately 3 months after taking it, then we were hit by COVID. So the major focus was COVID management more than any other thing, coming up with relief, programs to ensure that our people still are able to cope even under the difficult circumstances. And you will have realized that we have done very well in Johannesburg in terms of managing the issues of COVID and all that, in reducing the infections and all the programs that we have came up with. So we were focusing much on that, but taking over.
No, but COVID is new. I'm talking about before, issues of service delivery.
Yes, remember, I thought you were talking about 2016 because we lost in 2016.
Having governed for a very long time.
Exactly. So if you check in the city of Johannesburg, there are a number of developments that we have registered during our tenure as the African National Congress. We have introduced your GDS 2040 program that introduced programs like your Josie at Work. Josie at Work program was a program that was meant to ensure that we work with small businesses, cooperatives, to ensure that the work that we do as the city, we also allow, members of society in Joburg to assist us, because the city alone is unable. So there were a lot of developments that we have done. When we lost power, Joburg was a construction area. All over Johannesburg, there were lots of constructions that were taking place.
What is your position on the issue of e-tolls? It has not been resolved. You are the ANC in Johannesburg. It affects you, your members, and the people of the city. There are back-to-back comments from ANC deployees to government, but the issue of e-tolls has not been resolved. What is your position as the Greater Johannesburg region?
The ANC in Joburg position on e-tolls is the same as the ANC in Gauteng position on e-toll. We want e-tolls to be scrapped, and we want our deployees in government, especially nationally, because there's no problem organizational. Our deployees have a mandate to ensure that we scrap e-tolls. E-tolls are not sustainable, and e-tolls are a program that we believe that was not properly implemented, and as a result, our people must not. We don't have a problem with toll gates and all that, but we don't want toll gates that are within the urban areas where our people travel on a daily basis, because it becomes costly for our people to travel in Gauteng.
Okay, let's talk about the latest. Do you have an update on Mr. Mpho Moerane? How is he doing in hospital?
Yeah. Look, the update that we got as in like yesterday from the family was the update that yes, he's still critical in hospital. However, they are happy with all the procedures that he's going through. He's recovering day by day, but he's still on a critical condition. And definitely we will want the people of Johannesburg and South Africa to keep him in their prayers so that he can fully recover.
Thank you very much for your time. That is Sasabona Manganye, who speaks on behalf of the ANC in Greater Johannesburg region. He's been telling us that they are anticipating that they will convene their regional conference that has been postponed at least from the 27th of May to the 29th of May. That is depending on whether all the outstanding disputes would have been resolved by the time.
Very unlikely that they will be resolved, Siphamandla Goge, but we live in hope. We'll catch up with you a little bit later on as you bring us further developments on what's happening there.